Hi friends, it's Rita here at Rita's Paper Motif. Today I have a card I want to show you. I'm really kind of excited about it. It's a fun fold and it's called a pop-up. Sorry, I'm getting it out here. It's called a pop-up bridge card. And falling apart here. Okay, and what I wanted to show you is how to make this card. Now I do have another variation. So if you're wanting to create these cards, know that you can do it and you can change it up. So I'm going to tell you what you need to make your card. I'll make a card with you, and then you can have fun with it and just do whatever you feel you'd want to do. Now, I just want to show you before we get started that these cards do fit in a medium-sized envelope. And so I'll show you how that happens. Let me move some of this out of the way. I'm thinking this doesn't look like a medium envelope, but it is. Okay, and so it just fits right on in here in your envelope. You got to kind of squish it down, but that's what you want to do because the fun of the card is gotta be smarter than the envelope here. The fun of the card is that when it's taken out, here we go. Don't want to mess up my bow or anything, and I have some there we go. So it looked harder than it really is, but so it fits nicely in a medium envelope, and then when you bring the card out, then you see it just pops up. And so I know it's hard, you can see it on the camera here as you can see the dimension, and so this is something that stands up. Now the nice thing about it is it also has a place for you to put your message in the back, so that's kind of what props it up, right? Okay, so I want to show you how I made this cute card. I really love ladybugs. I think that The Grouchy Ladybug was one of the books I enjoyed the most reading to young children. And that was by Eric Carle. But so I don't know if that's what's attracted me more to ladybugs, or if it's just the fact that they're so whimsical. And so anyway, yeah, I want to show you how to make this card. So I did use, just so you know, I did use the Hello Ladybug stamp set. And I also used that beautiful punch. I just want to encourage you when you're thinking about product for your craft room, don't overlook those punches. I do not get rid of my punches. I keep them because even though some of them will retire and not be carried in the catalog, this one is right now, just so you know. The beauty of it is you can use it over and over. And sometimes you can use the designs for different things. So just, you know, you can think outside the box. But love the punch and love the stamp set. So let's get into making that card now. So first, to create this pop-up mechanism, let's get all of my stuff here. You're going to need I don't want to bring it up, well, we'll do what we have to. Okay, you're going to need a 10 3/4 inch of basic white cardstock. I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't made any of my bridge cards with a different color of cardstock, but in my mind there is no reason why you wouldn't want to or can't. So you know, it's your card, and let's experiment and see what we come up with. So I've already scored it, and these measurements are so easy. It's 10 3/4 by 5 1/2. If you wanted an A6 card, then you could make it 10 3/4 by 6, and that would fit in a what is it, A5 card, A5 envelope. All right, and so after you've cut your 10 3/4 by 5 1/2, then you're going to want to score at 1 3/4. Now I've already scored it, but it would be 1 3/4 2 3/4 and 3 3/4. And you do it on one side and then flip your cardstock over and just do the exact same thing. And so, you know, those are easy measurements to memorize. So 10 3/4 by 5 1/2. 5 1/2 is a dimension that we all know when you're creating your E2 size cards. And then on both sides, you're going to score at 1 3/4, 2 3/4, and 3 3/4. So I'm going to feel for that fold line. It's right here. I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to make sure this is what you, I did make a mistake before and I was not happy with myself, but you want to make sure that your edges line up. And when they do, just take your bone folder and secure that fold. And then you're going to find the next fold line. So you're doing like an accordion fold here. And then we do the next one. And so you'll find that you're creating that front part of your card. Do the same thing on this side. I like to start in the middle. I don't know that there's any fast rule. That's where you have to start, but that's where I like to start. And I do like to make sure once you do something and you're not happy with it, you seem to remember that, right? All right, and then I'm just folding over that last part. And I am using, just so you know, a thick basic white cardstock. Because we're going to put a few layers on here, it would be okay, I think, if you used regular white. All right, so let's move on. So now on the inside part, I'm going to want to put something that's decorative, because when your card closes, you want to see something pretty in here, right? So I'm going to take this. This is 4 by 5 and a fourth, and I'll eventually put this in here and then this in here that's decorated. But let's go ahead and decorate this, and we're also going to decorate our side panels. So let me just get all of that out. I thought I didn't want to, but I guess I do. So all of these white pieces we're just going to go ahead and stamp on. So I do want my scrap paper here, and let's get that. And then I am going to be using this flower, and that flower is from the Color and Contour. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create that flower print that we see in here and on here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it. I'm using my Memento. And just inking up the stamp. Now, because I'm, you know, I don't need to be specifically really particular about where I'm stamping, because I want something random. But let's go ahead and start with these little things so we can get them out of our way. And I'm just going to create that flower stamp. Again, it doesn't have to be in any particular order. Now let's go ahead and do this. And you're wondering why I have 3. You know, hold on, you'll see. Let's see here. I feel like I got out of sync here. Okay, and so it's, whoop, yeah, it's okay if it's random, right? It's okay. All right. Now, when you're creating this card, if you wanted something a little different, then you could use any designer series paper too. Just coordinate it. And while I'm doing the middle part, I just did want to say, be sure and hit that like button if you like the content. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, then consider subscribing to my channel, and also hitting that bell icon so that you're notified when I post new content. All right, so I'm just I did just put 3 on here because I kind of wanted that full flower. But then I'm going to go back and I'm going to add random, just random. Just kind of filling in the blanks. And some of this will be hidden, of course, by the flaps, but some of it will not. So, you know, just, this is just a decorative element, and you do what you want. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and clean off my stamp and put that to the side. And now what I'm going to do, because I don't want all these pieces all over the place, excuse me, I'm going to go ahead and put my layers together. And so I am going to use liquid glue. Liquid glue does allow you to move or manipulate your layers so that they are how you want them. And especially for video's sake, it's a little more forgiving. So let me just get that on here. I wanted a nice margin as equal as I can get it. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this right in the middle of my card. Now you kind of have to slide it in because it's going against these fold lines. If you find that it's inhibiting those fold lines, then you need to trim it down because you obviously somewhere got off. And it does happen. It doesn't necessarily mean you didn't cut everything accurate. It could just be that your fold is a little off. All right, so I just go ahead and put that in here, and then I also cut this so I have a little bit of a margin on the inside as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and put that down. I'm going to grab another acrylic block because I kind of want to put some weight on this. So I'm just going to do that and move it over. I'm going to work with these side parts. So these are the side parts that go right here on my top fold, right? And so these are 1 inch and 3/4 inch, and this is 5 1/4, and this is 5. And so you're going to do it twice because you have 2 of those, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and put those together, and then they can dry, and whoa, and then we can put them where they go. So I kind of maneuver the base layer because I want it to be as straight as possible, and we want to see, be able to see what we're doing. So all of us have different compromises for doing that, and so you do what works best for you. But for me, this just kind of works to put it to the side. And you know, I was really excited to I don't think I had seen this fold before, and maybe I did and it just kind of passed over it or something, but I really do like it, and it's you know, I'm going to use it probably a lot. All right, now I want to work on the mechanism that is going to bridge this, because what you want is something that will touch both sides, and also it will allow it to pop up so that it can be on display. All right, so let's go ahead and work on that. I'm going to get out all my parts here, move some of this stuff over. Now I've done a lot of this ahead of time because I know that when we do it in front of you or for you, that sometimes the videos can get quite long, and then it's, yeah, it just gets long. So what I did was I stamped that big green leaf, so it's a nice big green size, big size, and then I stamped it in garden green. Any color of green that you would want, or even, you know, I'm thinking if you wanted to get creative, you could make it different colors, right? So sometimes when the ladybugs are usually eating those aphids. Leaves are all different, right? Depends on what bush. So, you know, you make it how you want it. And the thing is because this is going to be a bridge, it needs to be substantial. So while I'm cutting out, and I am going to do that in front of you, while I'm cutting that out, I am going to put another piece of white here because that's going to give some strength to this sleeve. And so bear with me here as I cut. And maybe I'm just going to cut this and then we'll cut the other. I was just thinking it's kind of thick and I don't want to get a distorted cut here. So while I'm cutting, let's chat. I did want to tell you what's going on in my studio. There's a lot going on. Next week, I wanted to do a class on stitching. And I've come to love stitching on my cards. I used to just use the good old markers to create those stitch lines, but I recently discovered how nice the actual stitching with thread does look on the card. So look how it looks on the card. So if you're interested, you know, be sure to show up next Thursday, hopefully at the same time. I try not to make anything for sure because we never know what life's going to throw at us, right? And I cut that out because it's easier for me to maneuver my my paper here when I don't have a lot of bulk. And I'm trying to cut, leave a little bit of white on my image here as I'm cutting, so you don't have those harsh marks against the edge. And I'm trying to move only the image. And if I just was out of your view range, I'm sorry. It's just that this is kind of takes a close look when you're doing this. All right, so let's see, I'm almost done. And I'm going to tell you what, I am going to clean up here, and I do have to get closer. Okay. All right, so we've cut that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut around this because all this piece is just giving me, like, you know, it's just making it thicker. So I'm not necessarily looking for dimension. I'm looking for strength here. And I will trim it, so don't panic. I got it. I'm using this leaf. I could have stamped another leaf, so that's something that you could do too. And then you could cut them out, but whoop. That's probably a very good idea if you do that. But I didn't think of it, so la la. All right, here. Again, just taking some time to trim it because I will take this off and trim it too. So here we go. Again, you just want it for strength, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but has to be somewhat in that shape so that you bringing it closer. Okay, I think this is going to work. So you can see they're not even really the same, but it is going to give this strength because this is going to be part of a bridge and it needs to be able to stand up. And I see that I need to really trim this better. Okay, let's see here. Okay, one moment here. Okay, So the white that you're seeing on here is not the white part back here, because the part back here is smaller, right? But I do want to... So second thought, I think you probably do want to stamp it and cut out the one that you stamped, because you're not going to have to keep doing these little fixtures, little fixes here that I'm doing. All right, so that's what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this, because I want it to dry so that when I put it on my bridge that it is going to be dry. All right, so I'm going to put this, I'm going to put a block or a something on it to keep it flat, and then we're going to work on the rest of this. And I'll kind of move my trash to the side. So here's what's beautiful about that hole punch that I was telling you about. And that, I call it a hole punch, it's just a punch. What's beautiful about it is you can cut out this ladybug, and we're going to need 2 of those as well, because we want the bridge to be sturdy, but we're not going to glue them together just yet. What we are going to do is we're going to take these leaves, and we don't need 2 of those, so I did just have an extra. We're going to stamp them. We're going to stamp them with this dot stamp that creates the dots on the wings, and I already have it mounted on this block, but I am going to bring my scrap paper in because I don't want to get ink on my surface. And so here we go with the memento again. I find that stamping, punching them out and then stamping them really works easier for me. You may want to stamp them and then cut them out. I don't think it really matters. So let's go ahead and get this. I'm bringing it closer again. Now we know that butterflies, that their wings are symmetrical, and I know you can't see that. Their wings are symmetrical just like their body, and so you'll see here that that is pretty darn close. All right, cleaning off my stamp, and I just got black on my hands. I'm going to make sure I don't get that everywhere. And so now we're going to glue it, this the wings on this ladybug. And so I just put a tiny bit of glue, and you know for me that's hard, a tiny bit of glue right here on the wings, and then I'll put it around his head. Now really I think he's supposed to have a thorax, but he doesn't, so let's just go with it. All right, and so we're going to go ahead and put things together now. So let's go ahead and decorate the front there of our card. And I think we have everything that we need. So moving stuff to the side, bringing our card back. I'm going to go ahead and just put the adhesive on the back here. And I'm going to put it right here on the flap. Try to get it, we'll try to get those margins as even as I can. Okay, now the other thing you could do with this if you wanted to is just do dots. That would work perfect too. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put the second side panel on. The other thing is it seems like you would need to be really careful with the leaves and stuff, but you don't, I mean flowers, so that they look symmetrical, but you really don't. That's a little bit about the whimsy of the card, so don't, well you can if you want, but I don't see the need here. All right, so now we can work on our bridge. Now I also did stamp, and I'm just going to tell you now so we can kind of work on that. I took 2 stamps. I took the My Friend stamp, so it's tiny, and then I took It's a Good Day, and I put them together and made one stamp. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out, layer it on the red, and that is going to go on my bridge. Now you have to be a little bit careful with that, my friend, because it's a small and a little bit bold. So I did have to try this a couple of times because it seemed like My Friend was big and bold, and for me it just seemed a little messy, but I think I got it. All right, so I'm cutting it down, and then I am going to go ahead and glue it on some red, and then I'll cut the red. So there's a lot of cutting and gluing for these cards, but they're just so nice. I think they're interesting, and sometimes we just want something that's a little different from what we've been creating, and I find this to be that. So I'm just going to cut around this sentiment with the red, just to give it a little border. Okay, I think that's how I want it. And then I'm going to layer it on some black. So we're going to do that now. Now this sentiment is going to go on the front, so it's going to be part of that bridge. So I do want it to be strong. I'm not putting anything on dimensionals today. Oh my gosh, can you believe that? Because we already have dimension with our fold, all right? So I don't feel that we need this, but let me, and I hope that you're able to see all this. I should have checked. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and finish cut this out. Okay, and it's a little bit square, I get it, but just a little border just to bring all of our colors in that we've been using. And I like that the red, I don't know where I was going with that. I like that the red kind of sets off all of that, the black and white. All right, so let's go ahead and work on our bridge. Now, I want this to sit like this, and so it needs something, and then the ladybug will be like this. And so I'm going to put the ladybug barely on the tip, because I need enough of the ladybug on this part so that it's not falling apart, right? So let's just go ahead and put the ladybug. I'll put a little bit of glue right here on her head. Whoop, that wasn't a little bit. And that, you see, is why the glue is not we're not friends. Okay, and so you can see that when we put that down, that it's going to be a nice bridge, right? All right, and I'm going to get out that acrylic block again, because it's easier to do it when you have this laying flat. All right, so when I do this, I'm measuring now where I want to put my glue. So I want to put on the very edges of the leaf. And on the very tip or bottom of the ladybug. I'm thinking butterflies, that would be pretty too. And of course you don't want glue to touch the inside, because you don't want it to adhere down to the inside, right? That would defeat the whole thing. All right, and then I'm going to just put my sentiment right here, and it's going to be off a little too. So just like that. I am trying to get it so that it's straight here. Okay, and then I'm just going to put that block on there for a minute, and I'm going to work on the back part. Now I'm going to attach a regular, it's not regular. This is 4 by 11 inch, and I just scored it at 5.5. So normally our top folding cards are 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. Gosh, 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5.5. But we need it to be a little more narrow because the back of this card is only 4 inches. And before we attach it, let's go ahead and decorate the inside. So you remember I had these 2 pieces. I want to put this at the bottom. There's a lot of weight on here, and so I want to help out the card. And even though this is basic white and it's thick, I want to help it out. So let me move this over so I can make sure I don't do the entire video where you can't see it. But let's go ahead and put these together. We can cut them off if we need to. I'm going to cut just a little bit. I'd rather see a little white than lose my... There we go. All right. And this is not straight, so let me get that straight. I can do better. There. Okay. Here we go. So glue on the back. And I do love to decorate the inside of my card also. So not only is it helping to give stability, but it's going to decorate the inside. Now also, if you wanted to, with this stamp set, you could do all kinds of things on the inside. You could put a ladybug, you could use some of these flowers. So you really could do anything. You could take your pen and stitch around the side, and then that'd be cute too. If you were going to stitch it, I would stitch it in black. And then we're going to stamp. If you wanted to put a sentiment, then you could do that now. And so we put on here, it's your day. So if you were going to make it a birthday card, you could put happy birthday. If you were going to put congratulations, you could do that as well. I am going to put congratulations. And so I'm going to use the congratulations. There isn't a congratulations on here. But if you look on the Love for You, it has a thin congratulations here that you can use. If you wanted to do happy birthday, then of course you could do that. If you wanted to put you're amazing, you could put that on there. So kind of whatever you want, you could do. But I'm going to use the congratulations stamp from in here from the Love for You. And I'm just going to take it out. And hopefully it fits on this block. And I am going to stamp it in black or memento. So we'll ink it up. And I'm going to stamp it on some scrap paper just to make sure, because I'm not sure how dark. It's a small stamp, so I want to make sure that I've got enough ink on here. And then I'm just going to not do it upside down, that's for sure. And then I'm just going to put congratulations right there. So it's a small stamp, and you could decorate it like I said. I would definitely, you know, it's up to you how you want to do it. So I'm cleaning off that stamp so that I can put it away right away, because things can get lost if you don't. All right, so now we have the back done. We're going to be gluing it on the front now. So let's remove that weight that we had on there, and let's go ahead and put the glue. And so I'm just going to put it on here like this. And then we're going to put it on the back of our card, and you can, you know, put your, I just make sure that it's flush because you don't want it to be sticking out. This is kind of like a surprise. Let's see here. Okay, I feel like it's flush now. And then you have a card that stands up like that. I know you can't see it, so it looks like this and stands like that. And so the recipient can display their card, and it's got some whimsy to it. And then you can go ahead and you can put dots on here if you want. What I want to do, and I want to get rid of these, but you could put your red dots on dots on there if you wanted to. You could put black, whatever you wanted to do. I have some black stars that, well, I'll just use the red. I have some black stars that I was going to use, but you know, I'll use what you can find in my online catalog. And so you can definitely find the red little gems. And these are a little difficult to get off here. And you know, we have so many different little gemstones that you can use. So really it's up to you what you want to use. And so you could just put like your red anywhere you want. I think I'm not going to use it. I think I have a lot going on. I think I'm not. I'm not. We have a lot going on, and we have a lot of height and dimension to that. So I'm going to leave it as that. But some black hexagon dots would be good on that. Some, you know, well, it's up to you. And then, of course, we have that envelope. And, you know, if you're doing your envelope, I think a good thing to do would be to, I would probably use the flower, or I would use this cute little ladybug. And let's use that. So let me grab a acrylic block here. And I'm going to stamp it in black memento. And whatever you do, don't do what I just about did. I put it so that the flat side that's supposed to stick to the block was on the top. So that would have been messy. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and ink this up. And I'm going to put this little guy right here, and I'm going to show you why. I'm actually going to put two. So there's one. I didn't get him very good, and that's because I'm far away here. Let's see. And two. That's better. Let's see if I can fix this one. I'm kind of scared to do that, but let me get it close, and I think I can do it. Okay, and then what I would do is I would take my black pen, and I would just do some like little stitch marks. I'm going to color this guy in because that bothers me. So you know what, as creatives, we're not always perfect. So usually if you think you've made a mistake, there's usually a way to fix it. All right, and so, you know, that's really all that I'm going to do to the front of that card or envelope. And then I'll know that that envelope does go with, and sorry, I just put my finger in the memento, so let me clean my fingers off before I get black ink everywhere. I would hate to go through all this and then mess up. All right, so here we go. So here's our envelope, and here's our pop-up bridge card with a place to put your message in here in the back. So I'll bring over the other example. And again, you know what? This does have a lot of bling on it. I don't know if you can see it. I also used some of that Moody Mauve ribbon on here. And it has a different sentiment. It says, so very happy for you. And then this is definitely like a congratulations card. So I put that in there. But it has like clear sequins. And I do have a big old jar of those. This is not found in my online store. But we do have sequins, so depending on the colors that you're going to use, you could definitely use those. And then I just took the stamp, the flower stamps from the Hello Ladybug, and just stamped it on here. This sentiment strip is made by using this die. I use these dies so much I don't even get them put up nicely, so I'm sorry, but I'm just being real with you. And I cut 2 of these out of basic white, glue them together because I want that stability, and so then that's what that is. And then I just stamped some greenery from, I actually used the greenery from the Color and Contour dies. And also, I hope I told you, but I used this flower from the Color and Contour dies to get the background, or to stamp the flowers on the Hello Ladybug. It seems like these two go hand in hand, and they never come out of my to use bucket because I use them all the time. So I hope you enjoyed the cards today. Try to get this all in your view here. Let's see here. Can you see all of it? Maybe I'll put them up a little. There. All right. So I hope that you've enjoyed today's class, and I just want to invite you to go to ritaspapermotif.com, and I hope you all have a great day. Don't forget to like or share. Bye now. I'm still on. I can't get my, I think something might be wrong with my phone here. All right, we're going to try this differently. Okay.